suis mécanicien et je m'occupe de la voiture, de sa santé. Pour moi, je vis dans une voiture, tu vois. Je suis heureux dans ma voiture et c'est quelque chose de précieux, ça. Qu'on doit aimer. Parce qu'on aime conduire.
Question à laquelle j'avais pas réfléchi encore. Une voiture, c'est un moyen d'assouvir ma soif de compétition, parce que j'aime bien me battre dans la vie, puis me mesurer. Et puis que j'aime l'automobile.
En quoi consiste le travail du coéquipier?
D'abord, s'occuper de tout ce qui est organisation du rallye, lecture de règlement, préparation des cartes, préparation du matériel.
45 years ago, the original Alpine A110 won the Monte Carlo rally. Here's the new Alpine A110. There's some iconic rally stages. I think we ought to start with the Col de Turini. There are a lot of good roads between here and the Col de Turini though. So these are the roads that forged the Alpine's reputation. And you can see exactly why it's designed like it is. These roads are tight, they're narrow, they're twisty, they are hopelessly twisty. There are so many bends. You never stop turning the steering wheel. Now, before we came out here to do this, I spoke to a chap called Jean-Claude Androuet, who was the winner of the 1973 Monte Carlo rally. And I asked him, you know, what made the original Alpine A110 such a good rally car? And he said, it's simple. We were never as powerful as the Escorts. We had 80, 100 horsepower less than the Escorts, but we were light and we were nimble. And he said that was what really made the difference. It's what forged the Alpine's reputation and what they've tried to recapture with the new one. So you can hear the exhaust on the overrun. It sort of burbles and chatters away when you have it in sport mode. It's sort of quite endearing, really. It's not the most charismatic engine in the world, if I'm honest. However, it's not quite as pantomimey as the Porsche Caymans is. And the Porsche Caymans, for me, does cheapen the whole experience because they've sort of whacked up the volume to try and make up for the lack of cylinders, basically. But it's just a really joyful car to drive, the Alpine. It's more of a chassis car than an engine car. The engine's good, actually, and responsive and fast because it hasn't got to move much weight. But you're still thinking, well, yeah, it does the job, but really, what I'm really excited by is just how efficiently, effectively, and enjoyably it gets around corners. I'm meant to be driving, but I do get a bit distracted by what's going on outside the windows. Lightness has always been central to the Alpine philosophy. The new A110 weighs only 1,100 kilos, quarter of a tonne less than a Porsche Cayman. It's almost entirely aluminium, chassis, bodywork and double wishbone suspension. The engine is in the middle. It's a turbocharged 4-cylinder 1.8 with 249 horsepower. It drives the rear wheels via a twin-clutch gearbox, and with little weight involved, 0 to 62 takes just 4.5 seconds. So unfashionably, it doesn't use adaptive dampers, just passive, so no switching between softer and harder and so on. It's really good. They've done a really nice job of leveling it out, so it feels sporty, yet has the ability to glide, and yet on rough surfaces it's uncanny. Where harder, tougher, wider tired cars would get sort of jiggled and bounced around quite ferociously, this just feels very mellow. It's really nice. It's uncanny in its ability to sort of just glide over difficult roads. So the downside of that is that occasionally on rough roads, the Alpine, because it's light, gets sort of bobbled around by the road surface a bit. But the faster you go, the smoother it gets. And it's like, we're going to use so many cliches, but it is, and I am going to use this cliche, Lotus-like in the way it changes direction and the way it feels as it goes down a road. Now, being honest, I would like a bit more steering, bite and feel. It's not a massive thing because the chassis is so good, but when you turn into corners, I just like it to be a little bit sharp. And I know why Renault hasn't been able to do it or hasn't done it. A, because it would have made it ultra, sort of too aggressive, more aggressive than they wanted it to feel. And also it would have been more difficult to engineer with the softness they've got on the springs. But it's when you come up to hairpins and you turn it in and it just glides round them. There's no real sense of inertia to it. It's a very beguiling car. It's a sort of difficult car to get your head around because it's not a traditional sports car. It's not like the Cayman or the Audi TT. This is something different and something really, really quite pleasant. Pleasant, that's an awful word to use. It's not pleasant, it's mega actually. So we have come up around countless hairpins. We are at the Col de Turini. This is the famous crossroads where you see all the rally cars come whapping through, but it is not the top of the mountain, so we are going to carry on going higher. So we wanted to get the Alpine to the top of the mountain and the snow's got too deep and we haven't quite managed it, but look what it's come through. This is deep snow. It's done a terrific job. It's light, it's nimble, it's really agile. It feels different to other sports cars and it's done a great, great job today.
Resserre 85.